Hello, everybody. This is the African Actions Network. I'm James Jensen. And of course, today is another brand new day. I'm here at this hour to have a short conversation with you, wherever you are. Join us and have your say. We want to have a short conversation, and that has to do with unfolding development in Liberia. Particularly, we want to talk about what seems to be a standing conflict between George Weah and President George Weah and Senator Prince Y. Johnson. There's a lot of you may have heard the story about, right? But it's important that we all keep discussing the issues, and there might be an angle that I would take that no one has discussed. Okay, so whatever you are, join us, make a comment, and also share the video so that we can help to build that society. Um, Senator Johnson is senator for Dima County. There's no secret about Senator Johnson's own role he has played in Liberia's body politics since the Civil War ended when he headed the Independent Patriotic Front of Liberia (INPFL), uh, where he broke away from Charles Taylor, who was then the head of the National Patriotic Front. Senator Johnson has become like a kingmaker in the Liberian body politics, and we saw that in the 2017 elections where George Weah, okay, became president. I'm not sure George Weah would have become president if Senator Johnson wouldn't have supported him, right? Because Senator Johnson seems to be like the chief for Nima County, one of the largest county and a vote-rich county within the Republic of Liberia. He has made his own empire, if I may say. The people of Nima believe in him, and we don't know how that's going to play in the 2023 elections, this coming elections in Liberia. But we believe that his support to George Weah did give George Weah a win. All right. And George Weah is president of Liberia. He came from the football field with no political experience. But yes, he got elected as president of Liberia, and his 6 years term, his 6 year in office has come to an end, and he's being petitioned to uh, contest for his second term. How that going to play in? The politics is now rolling. Prince Johnson is now like George Weah performance was not satisfactory. He did not please the people of Liberia, particularly those of Nima County. He further went to say that George Weah promised Nimbayan jobs and he promised Nimbayan some money, but he has not delivered on those promises. Because of those reasons, he has decided not to support George Weah this time around. But we must be quick to point out that Prince Johnson, indeed, he's not too stable as a senator of Nima County. He is always wavering, and no one will know his decision. Even as the conflict seems to be between he and President Weah, no one understands what his decision going to be at the end of the day. Like we saw on Sunday, even press people, everybody was like, "Hey, we have to go to see go to attend church service with Prince Johnson and George Weah." The two individuals are now serving like pastors within the Republic of Liberia. Now, that's an issue for which we really want to discuss. We're going to start the discussion. Hopefully, tomorrow we're going to have a pastor on the show who will be able to give us some insight as to society and a religion or religious community within the society. What good is it to have a religious group or people of faith in the society? We will have a pastor here who will also give us some insight on that tomorrow. But we started to have the discussion because there's an angle for which I want to to raise. Um, Most of you have heard Prince Johnson speaking. Prince Johnson even has gone to the extent to question government sincerity in the death of those auditors. And those are serious issues, right? Prince Johnson is not an ordinary person. If he's sitting as a senator, is questioning the Weah's government about the death of those auditors and people who have died in the country, that should be a concern for the Justice Ministry. That's an issue. That couldn't be in the United States. If they are if when people die under mysterious circumstances and there's no report to put the issue to rest, that issue is in continuation. I mean, it's being investigated continuously, no matter how long it takes. So Prince Johnson having come out to say those persons die under mysterious circumstances, and the government is like blaming the government, the we as government, is of concern. But that is not what I really want to talk about today. All right. So the conflict, for some of us, we believe Prince Johnson is going to reconcile with George Weah someday, somehow. We are hearing that, in fact, they have done those things. But that is not the issue for me. When people get angry, they speak of the secret that they had together before, sometimes. So for a society like Liberia that is struggling to be built, if a sitting senator will accuse a sitting president during those discussions, things being said, it is important that those who are interested in building a better society will guard themselves, will pick up those pieces of information and be able to hold people accountable. This is one issue I want to throw out of this. Prince Johnson said that George Weah was given $350,000 United States dollar to run a campaign. Prince Johnson, as a sitting senator, he's aware of the electoral laws of Liberia. Prince Johnson is aware of the Constitution of Liberia that says no Liberian contestant or someone who wants to become president or become a senator or representative in Liberia should get money from foreign sources to run a campaign. Now, when a sitting senator accuses a president or someone who won the presidency that T.D. Joshua gave Joshua $350,000 to run a campaign, that's a serious matter, right? That's a very serious matter. It is not only constitutional, it is in violation of the electoral laws of Liberia. So people always say Liberia is a country of laws. Liberia is a country of laws. Let's agree. Now, this is an issue. What's going to happen next? Well, I don't know. Maybe Liberia is going to play with those kind of things and say, well, the society will be built. There will be no better society when people are not made to give account of their stewardship, or when things happen and people are not made to account through the judicial process. Is it true that George Weah took money from T.D. Joshua to campaign to become president of Liberia? Prince Johnson has said it. Prince Johnson is a senator. Prince Johnson knows that he's on oath as long as the government of Liberia exists. He took an oath to defend the laws of the Republic of Liberia. He knows that anyone, even he himself, if he went to Nigeria and got money from there, and King of Liberia in rank campaign. He is against the constitution of Liberia and the electoral laws of Liberia. It doesn't matter whether you want election or not. But any time, any given time that it is known, it is revealed that the laws of Liberia is being violated, people must be able to make to give an account. So Prince Johnson is talking, not just Prince Johnson. There are other people like the Deputy Minister of Information. They all are speaking out now. It doesn't matter whether they were in government. In fact, people who were in government before, when they are speaking, it give the reality or give information that is very likely true to the core. So these people are making revelations. They are being in the center of events happening in Liberia. So what is going to happen? Liberians are laughing, think it's fun. You are having some wasted years. Those years going to add up to the year you're already counting to be wasted years. People should be made to account for their stewardship. Those who are in leadership, they are not just forcing. They are speaking of dirty deeds. So what are you going to do? I know that's Liberia. Nothing going to come out of it. It's just going to be like, okay, people, newspaper, radio stations, social media, everybody going to discuss it afterward. It died down. It says Sparrow died, the story ends. Prince Johnson and Weah are going to die very soon. Then Liberia suffers. And what are they going to do? The reconciliation is going to be raw cash. The people's money, the people's resources going to change hands. And Liberia and the countries suffer at last. This is a situation that is happening with that country. Other nations are thinking about global events. Things are unfolding every day. And people are concerned. I don't know what's going to happen to that country. Who's going to make people to account? Somebody said, oh, Joe, we're not president. Yeah, we don't have an independent elected branch of government. If you had that, Prince Johnson is in their midst. If he said, look, George Weah was given over $300,000 US to campaign. No independent senator will want to let that go. No independent representative will think that such a great violation of the laws of the Republic of Liberia will go unnoticed. But everybody laughing, right? Oh, yes. That's Liberia now. That's fun. Everybody laughing. Like nothing's happening. People want to go to Prince Johnson church because they feel they want to get the news, but the news is already out. You don't need to go to Prince Johnson's church. Prince Johnson has spoken sufficiently. There's nothing strange you're going to talk that you have not spoken about. The media, the social media, not social media. Yeah, media, social media, and civil society organizations, the church. Now, this is one point I wanted to emphasize. The church. As I said, somebody is very likely coming on tomorrow to discuss society and religion. I know you may have heard those things, the two words before. But we want to have a very important discussion about that. The church. Today, George Weah is a pastor, right? He get up in the morning, he go to church and open politics. Prince Johnson is the pastor. He gets to the church in the morning, the sermon, he read one Bible verse, he preaches the gospel of politics. Now, there's something serious happening in Liberia. Society is broken down. These are the results. When the church cannot speak, the church has a very important role in building a society. The church is expected to have a moral ground to help build a society. Without moral beings, society cannot be perfected, cannot be better. Society will crumble, people will suffer, many will die. You will not have people advocating for a just society when the immorality is already permeating in the society. Today, everybody, politicians are thinking about getting on the pulpit and blame full Liberians because they love God business. They love Christianity is something that they all believe. That's the way that the country should go. That's the trick. Most of you think what George Weah is doing. Now, let me be honest with this. George Weah as a person, I can't judge him to be someone whatever in the simple Liberian way. The person will go to hell. This person will not go to hell. It's not my role to say that. But to see what they are doing, you can conclude that these people are not morally operating a church. They are operating a political organ called a church. Why? Because Liberians believe that when someone says, I'm a pastor, that person is just God-fearing. Is that the true story of these people who are now fighting in the church? Get to the pulpit and then discuss politics. Now, the religious leaders are sitting there. Even most of them, people who were respected yesterday, some of them have compromised themselves already. And I must be very clear, George Weah has a very perfect game. Simon Toy is an architect. And Toy is smart. Toy has perfected what he thought he would have done. Everything is going like, brother, I would believe it's Simon Toy's own making. So, George, you must build a church. Liberians believe in church, so build one church. They will respect you because of that. Did George Weah go to Bible school? They didn't go. Which kind of theological school he went to? When did he study that? Besides talking about a grandma, what have you? The reality remains the country going to suffer. People are going to die poor. It is time that those few morally upright persons in Liberia need to stand up for the truth, for those who believe in a just society, for those who understand that church, a religious institution, is supposed to ensure that people live by truth, the constitution and laws of the country. If you can't do that, then I do not know why you call yourself a pastor. Liberia is suffering. People are suffering. Those who are abroad, they feel the pinch of it. Everybody has some little small problem. They're calling overseas for assistance. And people are making fun. People are using the country money as though it is their personal resources and they can just dance in it the way they feel. I was asking a question a few days ago. Is there safe drinking water in Liberia? Safe drinking water in the real sense of these words. Is there a safe drinking water? How many communities have safe drinking water? Talk about Monrovia. Don't talk about the interior part of the country. Monrovia. How many persons are drinking safe drinking water in Liberia for the past 5 years? And people are fighting among themselves. Why? They want to get back to power. And Liberians do not know how to read the signs on the world. And people think it's fun. Another 6 years to your age, you're going to be aging. Some of, maybe, I don't know, myself here. What I will live for the next 6 years is by God's grace. But those who will survive the 6 years, what kind of society will they live in? It should be a matter of concern. There must be a purpose for life. And those who should advocate for a better life are the pastors. Those who call themselves pastors are the ones who's supposed to advocate for a better society. Where do you stand? If you are a pastor, I'm asking you today, where do you stand as a pastor? What kind of a society do you hope for? What kind of society do you imagine Liberia is going to have? Are you sure there will be a better Liberia the next 5 years? Or do you think you just want to get your own and don't care about the nation Liberia? It is a serious problem. Prince Johnson issue and George Weah issue is no issue for anybody to play fun with. It's a serious matter. When these things are happening, you must imagine the election result, 2026 election result. What's going to happen? If George Weah loses the election, what's going to happen in the country? Is George Weah going to say, okay, look, you have to take your control, I'm out? He knows he's going to be audited. He and his group are going to be audited. So they will not want to leave power. Because they can see that even losing election, people like Prince Johnson that we're not going to take kindly with them. They're going to be on their back until they make, Liberia, things have happened in the past and people did not care. But sometimes you can never tell what the next generation is going to be like. I saw people a few days, students from the university campus, running behind some former government officials. I always say, Bacchus Matthew told me once upon a time, don't take Liberian for granted. The same way people saw Prince Johnson taking gun or knife, that mindset is still in some folks. Why don't people play their respective roles? The church should be condemning when it becomes necessary to condemn. When I say church, I mean those who are actually more or less standing on the Bible to preach. Not people who will take one Bible verse and after reading the Bible verse and this explain all of their political dilemma. That is not it. To my people who mean well for humanity. These are the issues. We'll continue talking some of these issues because it's important to the building of that society. The world is like people are struggling to give an account of their stewardship. Like America, the Democrat and Republican are on one another's throat. Why? Because they want a better society. As old as Joe Biden is, who cares? You could just say, well, I'm done with my life. But they are struggling to still build a better society. Other nationals, like some of us leave Liberia, you come on this side, you depending on other people's resources. And you look back, you see other brethren and sisters with hopelessness. Why you get very few persons enjoying the resources of the country at the detriment of the majority. Prince Johnson, as far as I'm concerned, Prince Johnson has given the news out. Any other thing Prince Johnson won now is get his catch. That's a hard play. That's a playbook between he and George Weah, nothing else. Prince not gonna vote for George Weah. You're gonna still give Nima. You're gonna make a statement at the end of the day, giving Nima back to George Weah. There's no even end about that. Let me tell you a story. 2011 elections. I was around Reverend Sunday, and then the George Weah and everybody was like, election was not free and fair and transparent and all of those stuff. At the end of the day, what happened? Everybody gathered at Prince Johnson's house because there were pieces of information that the election was cheated, there was cheating in the election and all of those stuff. That night, I remember Cephas was there, Joel Taylor, and now the politician they over there that night. I was there. I remember calling Cephas. I said, Cephas, Prince Johnson is sitting at the head of the table. He's saying nothing. He's not into this meeting. And guess what? The following day, when we were to go to SKD to read the petition statement, everybody assembled at Prince Johnson's house that morning. There was a different game. Prince Johnson is just unpredictable. There's nothing you can talk about him. Prince Johnson already said it. George Weah promised Nibaya some money, I think 71 million or whatever it is. He promised to employ Nibaya. He did not do it. So that's Prince Johnson's own way of advocating for his people. Play the hard ball. At the end of it, George Weah will submit. If he has not already done that. By the end of the day, it's Liberia that will suffer. And the media itself has not gotten the message yet. Everybody thinks that just news, empty news. The news is out there. President first, you say what you're not supposed to say. That's the news. You're talking the truth. Talking what is sitting in his belly is what he put out. Who knew that T.D. Joshua did get George Weah over $300,000 for a campaign? Oh, that doesn't make news, right? That's a violation of election law. What the election commission is even going to say, I don't know. The Liberian Senate going to say something about it? I doubt it if they will ever even question Prince Johnson on that. Or the George Weah. The House of Representatives? Forget it. That's how society breaks down. When society feels, that's what happens. Everybody is like, live and do your own. There's nothing that will ever be when you don't have people willing to sacrifice. You see, Prince Johnson and Joey, that's just what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. Nothing strange. Nothing strange. That's true. I'm talking about when the opposing political party met at Prince Johnson house. When they went, the Prince Johnson came from the backside. Everybody got tired with Prince Johnson. They went on the football field before the SKD. When the Lord Prince Johnson went on the other side, he came on the field. The statement was read at SKD. That very day Prince Johnson left, he went to Nima County. At the time, I think like, I don't know how many four pickups and some huge amount of money. All we heard was Prince Johnson was on BBC. Of course, Prince Johnson is a tactical man, so everything he knows how to get what he wants. So everything is happening now. It takes real men to take actions. The senator's not going to do anything to Prince Johnson. No way. They don't even have the guts to say open an investigation as to some of the things that Prince Johnson is saying. The senators, they have no guts in Liberia to open an investigation, some of the things they are hearing. Some of those things are very astonishing to them, but they will not say anything. No senator will question Prince Johnson. Needs to talk about George Weah. Equally so, no representative will not ask a question. The CDC is not a political party. If it's a political party, it will be asking its standard bearer. There are a lot of people who are coming from the CDC. They have raised issues against the president. No one cares. The party doesn't have an executive committee to question George Weah. If you really mean well for Liberia, they don't. Political parties are run by executive committees, not the president, not the standard bearer party. When there are questionable issues that are grown up, remember, look get up. He said a lot about George Weah. Those things would be justified years to come. Senators don't have the guts to open an investigation on those matters. Someone who was appointed and took oath to defend and protect the country. He leaves power. He reveals information about auditor's death, and no one cares to open an investigation. Those persons, may their soul rest in peace. They are dead and gone. Under mysterious circumstances, they were killed, according to Prince Johnson and the former Deputy Minister of Information. Those people are persons of interest who can explain further. It depends on the kind of men you have in the legislature that will want to open an investigation and raise issues that bulldoze the death of those auditors and persons in Liberia. If Prince Johnson in your midst as senators, he opens up and explains a lot. Are you telling me, Senator, you don't have the guts to ask your own? That's Liberia. Representative cannot ask anybody. They see that it's a phone fair. Well, there's a tomorrow. There's a tomorrow. We just thought to cross our eyes on what is happening between Prince Johnson and George Weah. There's a playbook. You can open it and read it and close it back. It's all done. No one going to ask Prince Johnson any question. Nobody going to ask George Weah any question. People are laughing, thinking that it's a fun. But that's how the nation is being destroyed. Liberia is being destroyed as a result of these games. These are just few of the information you are gathering. But you were to wait for the next 2, 3, 5 more years, you will see the worst. If the party that win take the matter, whether free, fair, transparent, Liberians, you're not thinking, you can't think about yourself, so not think about nation, think about those children of the country, their future. How far do you leave that country? When you even going in your grave, you should be telling your children, your grandchildren, I'm proud I'm leaving behind a nation. Fight hard. But many persons will even be wishing, can I get my child out of this country? People get sick, they can't take treatment. Even government officials, they had to fly out of the country. But yet people hearing about money, millions changing hands for personal aggrandizement. That is not good. We hope that those of you who are friends of those people keep to question them. That the CDC, those of you who call yourself executive committee member, you will be questioned tomorrow. Where were you when the CDC party? Prince Joseph revealed George Weah took money from TD Joshua to run his campaign. That's a violation of the law, electoral laws. You think the election commission get a guts to ask questions? No, they wouldn't ask the question. You think senator has a guts to ask? No, no senator going to ask question. You think representative going to ask? No, don't worry yourself. Even the media will not write the story the way they should write it. Joshua has played his game already. Called media, few media executives getting some money. So when you read the headlines, you know exactly what is happening in the country. People running the Prince Johnson's church, you go write a report, write story. Prince Johnson already told the story. You don't have to go to Prince Johnson's church. Nothing strange going to talk about. Only thing people doing that midnight conversation, they're trying to right now Prince Johnson and John, we are talking. They're laughing. In the cover of darkness, while the majority of people suffer. And Liberia is left in the dark. No safe drinking water, no better schools, no better roads. It's left with the nation. Those of you who think you want to build a better country, I don't know why do you stand if you can't question these people. Prince Johnson is not talking like an ignorant person. He's security-minded. He said auditors die under mysterious circumstances. George Weah's explanation, he doesn't buy it. This is the man who stood behind George Weah, put his hand up, saying he was the best to be president. Now, when he's speaking this way, the justice minister is supposed to question Prince Johnson and question the very George Weah man. What the devil of those auditors. The former deputy information minister, no matter where he is, he's a person of interest. If the country is serious, civil society organization, people should be advocating. If all of the newspapers were to raise those issues for the people, even the foreign government will get involved. People writing stories just because they want to justify what money they have gotten. There's a tomorrow. The little children, any of them that died will die and cry in your names. Prince Joseph and Joey are playing hardball. Joey will get Prince Joseph money and that will be the end of the story. Spider dies, the story ends. Right now you see Prince Joseph, maybe you are getting some millions what you wanted. If Prince Joseph is going to crucify Joey, I doubt it. He won't. So you're hitting your head. All you have to do is pick up the pieces of information that Prince Joseph has released, and then you begin to ask them the hard questions. Liberia cannot remain the way it is. It only takes strong men and women who ask the hard questions. And those questions will have the answer. If not now, but very soon they must answer. There might just be a society one day people will get up and say, well, enough is enough. These people must account. The church, I said it and I repeat, we might have a pastor tomorrow who will discuss some of these issues. There must be a clear distinction between the church and the society. The distinction is the church should be there to advocate for a just society, not to go later in bed with politicians. That's what most of the church leaders who were respected yesterday are done. So George Weah has played with their minds, and that's the smartness of George Weah and the Summit to a group. So nobody can ask Joe a question. Because you want to ask so many questions, you will say, okay, my money I gave you, give it back to me. I don't want to call names. You know them. All of the religious group of people. Just a few months ago, what was happening, my brother, you know the story. I don't have to be the one naming people here. But if there was a clear distinction, Michael Parkland Francis stood his ground and he spoke fearlessly for the goodness of Liberia, even though he's dead, but people still remember him. I was a child at the time, but we still remember his words. That's what religious leaders are supposed to do. Not to go later in bed with a politician. Then when the politicians are messing up, spoiling the country, you have no God to stand and ask them questions. Is Joey a pastor? When Joey went to theological school? How many of you saw Joey going to Bible school? Okay, yeah, God can call people, yeah. God called Joey. Some of you that are close to Joey, you know him better. Remember Molu know Joey? They're telling us a story. We don't, I'm not close to Joey, but when they tell us a story, we see the mirror. We see in the mirror what is there. I told somebody, I say, even those who close, very close to Joshua, will tell the story tomorrow. The stories that we will hear, they have everything has not come out yet. There will come a day that people, even Simon told me, and one day testified against Joshua. It is written, and these things will come to pass. When people get the power, there must be a purpose to build a society, to build an economy. That Liberia will grow and children will get to feel the worth of their life. Today, people talking about artificial intelligence. People are doing a lot. Children are playing with computers like no one business. While Liberian kids are looking for food to eat. And people are playing fun and rejoicing in the country resources. And the media will want to take pleasure in just having laughter. You don't write the hard articles that people will check and think, oh wow, I said something, I shouldn't have said it. Well, it's up to you. You have a role to play. The media has a role to play. The church has a role to play. The legislative branch of government has a role to play. The judicial branch has a role to play. Civil society has a role to play. If each and every group will play their role effectively, Liberia will change. Liberia will change. Trust me, for example, Senator Johnson. I watched some hearing today, was it today or yesterday? Police director is arguing with a senator in the chambers of the House. That has never happened when I was at the legislature. When I was police director, they would adjure the police director. It doesn't matter who that person was, the senator was. Police director, you sit in the chambers of the House and tell the senator, say, you are under surveillance. Oh, the senator is under surveillance. The senator is on security committee. Is that funny like Liberia is today? A senator who is on a security committee is under surveillance. And the police director is sitting right before them and telling them, say, Director, you under surveillance. I just look at and laugh. When you hear these things, sometimes you ask yourself the hard question, you say, Liberia, finish. A senator or group of senators will sit. They will not even, oh no, it couldn't have been even Yondua time, just recent time, Yondua, Makomana. It could not have been his time. Police director would have gone to jail. If for a few hours, he would have gone to jail. They were giants, they were men. The last few times that I saw, even Chancellor, as powerful as Chancellor was, his own partisan, all the NPP boys, they sometimes used to stand their ground against the executive branch of government. Ibn Masaleh, the then majority leader, People stood their ground. So what now? It's up to the people. You want to build a nation? It's up to you. You want to destroy the nation? Our way of looking at things is that, oh my God, the children of Liberia. If anybody after 50, you are just playing around, just waiting for God's grace. Some people like I listen to preachers and say, I'm after 70 years. Yeah, preachers didn't play a game. All preachers are doing is buying time for the rest of his life. Preachers knows within himself, hey, I have lived my life. His maneuvering has brought him this far. But yet, preachers in them must be concerned about Liberia in totality, not just Nima County. So the money that the Joshua gave Jowiah, for which Jowiah ran campaign, we will see whether the National Election Commission will ask Jowiah a question, or whether Senator will ask Jowiah a question, or Representative will ask Jowiah a question. Nobody going to ask questions as far as concerned. That one is finished, it's done. Spider not down that one there. People are joyful. Trust me, Jowiah did not give Senator Johnson some good bit of money, and that one let that story end. So my papa, why you want to disgrace me this way? You know, you my own man respecting all of this stuff. That story end. That free money. The country money, that free money. Nobody care to ask questions. And going budget hearing. Do you know how much is in the country coffers? No one knows about it. President had his annual message. Anybody asking question? No, that one that just ceremonial activities. That is over. It's over. It's finished. There's somebody care to go say, okay, the president said there were $50 million from Morocco. We're going to ask how this money went or where is it and all of this. No, nobody going to ask questions. No. Over. Electricity. We're talking about dividend. Well, instead of saying we will build a hydro, you say, no, we'll build a hydro. Then when the West African power plant is coming, then we're talking about solar energy. It's like people confused. President gave you a confused message. Nobody's asking questions. Are you talking about electricity? Where's the electricity coming from? Power plant. How do you call it? The hydro. Building another hydro and all of those sort. The kind of a good window dressing comment. Then you say, okay, we will also bring in. So which one are you bringing to Liberia now? Which electricity? Solar panel. Which? Are you bringing solar panel to Liberia? You bring West Africa pool to Liberia. Then you're bringing, what you call it? You're rebuilding some more plan of the hydro. What are your goals? Everybody will come, right? No, when I read and hear those things, I just feel these people don't have a decision. So all the money is giving here the is because people just want their cuts. People want their cuts. Because every serious minded government would have made a decision. Do we bring the West Africa or electricity or pool from wherever to Liberia? Is that the best decision? If that's the best decision, you put all your resources in there and bring it. If you want to rebuild the hydro and build another hydro upon that, you put your resources in there and get it achieved. If you think solar panel is the best thing for Liberia, you want to put all your money in it and bring it to Liberia. But all of those things can't work. They say you must why? You either love one and reject all, or you love all and reject and get none. The way Liberia is. That annual message is dead, gone. Nobody asking question furthermore. So people sit and don't ask the questions. When they're being paid, the people have money to ask the question, they wouldn't ask the questions. People playing politics with everything. No one cares. Sitting senator will say the death of those people, something went wrong. For God in heaven's sake. Let a congressional person get up and say or something that he or she shouldn't say. And it brought us a situation that has gone or that has been under investigation. That only Liberia when you finish. And when you move on and you say, oh, Liberia was in a 3 year old, you don't get that, you don't get drinking water. When you're supposed to build a country, you're not building it. Tomorrow, when they leave power, before I close, let me tell you this. There was a representative when we used to be in the corridor running around, writing press releases and all of those stuff. I was coming from red light one evening. There was an old bus coming. I have gotten on the bus. There was no other seat. There was a designer seat. And there was several persons sitting on the designer seat already. I joined them. When we left, right after red light, not too far, going towards Ghanaville Way, this person stopped the bus. Who was he? One former representative. Representative were talking about Cherokee Jeeps and all of this stuff. When I saw him, I called him and said, oh, but Chief, come and sit down here. He said, no, my son, not the thing here. Just leave that one there. I will say anywhere. My son will just hang here. The thing that came to my mind, look, life is difficult, right? And I'm not saying that in any form of manner to think like, the worst can happen to anybody. But sometimes when people are deliberate to deny what belongs to the people, sometimes the end result can just be bad. Very bad. And people have to be mindful. People have to be mindful. Sometimes you can get the money when you look. Look, some of us came to this country, there's a lot of lessons we learned. I saw one man whose income, he was getting $100,000 every day as a result of interest of his earning. But guess what? He loses his mind. He could not even recognize what was happening. Sometimes you see this thing, you ask yourself the hard questions. Will it be me too tomorrow? Why? And people take life for a fun. All you have to do is to build society, help people when the needs is there. But when you cause other people to suffer, die, your tomorrow awaits you. Okay, that's how we want to end today's discussion. As I said, we might have a pastor here tomorrow, and he's going to be discussing society and religion, what the religious community is supposed to do in a given society. Because when things are not right, you look up to religious leaders because they are the moral people. They should be morally upright. But I bet you, if you talk about church today, even the children, they make fun of pastors because the way in which society is being run. Yesterday when we said, this pastor is coming, everybody want to look at who is that pastor. Okay, it is believed that these people are standing on moral grounds. But today, Prince Johnson will quote one Bible verse and will stand on his church and he will preach his politics from start to end. And people, like bring people sitting there clapping. You know how many souls people are not even worried about their future? Even the heavens that is being talked about. People, you don't even teach the people, you don't even preach to them as to how they can live their life. Joe Weah live maybe in that or in political jobs and other things there. You could say, okay, I'm going to church. You go in the church or you open your political Bible. So everything you want to talk about. You want to condemn people, you go right and go right ahead. Because guess what? The media chase those people. And of course, yeah, they are right. Those are newsmakers. You know? But one of the things is when you hear those things as a media person, make a cogent analysis. Write the kind of headline that those people will see in the next day and say, oh my God, I said something, I should have said it. When you see some headline in Nova, show the headline, some headline you see, so you know money smelling on there. So that's what we want to talk today. We will see you tomorrow. Those of you who've been watching, and your comment will be necessary. You know, a few persons are making comments late now. I see Amos One. He said public office should be about service to the people, not about amassing riches. Amos, I agree with you. That's how it should be. In South Africa, the story of South Africans, they built their country only with blood and sweat. Nelson Mandela went through the hell. America, some people hear about America is not a place of fun. It's a place where even Americans themselves, they had to labor to get what they want. The system is built in a way that you have to work to get what you need. All they want to do is to keep building the society the way they want it to be. And that's how we think Liberia should be. Just build a society. Build it. You know, I don't know whether we'll still get a coastal highway, but build it. Maybe you start from somewhere. If you don't win election, somebody can win the election to follow through. Mhm. But there might be a lot of occurrences. We are hearing about Cummings and Boakai ticket. If those things happen, a lot of things gonna happen. I know Liberian politics. Right now, people are wavering. Many people don't respect. I mean, sorry for the word. Many people don't want to be in Joshua camp. Many of them. If you have a very strong body, trust me, people will say the worst they have witnessed, they have seen, and Liberians will be astonished to hear some of these stories. But we hope that the tomorrow will be good. For those of you, keep praying there's a tomorrow. Your future might just be bright if you pray and sincerely wait on God's appointed time. You don't have to worry yourself. Nobody going to remain in this world forever. You see the people in Turkey? Over 33,000 persons died just in a few days' time. In Ukraine, people are dying every day. Russians, they are dying every day. So what do you want in this world? When you're not going to stay here forever. When you die, they're not going to bury you with money. The criminals will go and take that money and trash, maybe use your bones to smoke or whatever they say they can do with it. So why you can't just build a society? You get money just for you to plan the programs, build the society up. That's all you need to do. You leave behind a legacy. Like Joe Wiano for the eight mansions that he built. What is happening to it right now? I don't know. The media is supposed to go to the kind of places and tell what is happening. Are people living in there, or they just build it just for to see the structures? You know. That's how we're going to end. Time is fast spent. We are all very late. But join us tomorrow. We'll have Pastor Samson, nameless Samson. May join us tomorrow. He just came from Israel. He went to the place where Jesus was buried. He took bath in the Jordan River. And so tomorrow he might join us to talk much about Israel and tie that in with how dusty Israel was and the seriousness of the people in that part of the world. They have a blessed nation, something that Liberia could do. Liberia out of the forest, the good land that by this time we shouldn't be even thinking about going from one nation to another. Liberia should be thinking, oh, I'm going back to Liberia. My farm land is there. I'm going to do this. But that's how we want to end today. And join us tomorrow. Brother Something may join us. Hopefully, we had a discussion, and we hope that tomorrow he will be here to discuss the issues of society, religion. Look at Israel and comparatively juxtapose that with Liberia and see, can Liberia too get out of the ashes, get out of the dust, and be a glorious land? Have a pleasant and a wonderful time. It was a pleasure to have you with me. This is the African Actions Network. Until then, be safe.